I was really blessed to have such an amazing family growing up. I grew up knowing God and learning about him. I grew up in the church. In 4th grade, I had my first anxiety attack. I just started breathing really heavily. My heart was pounding, and my teacher grabbed my arm and took me to the nurse's office. Ever since then, I feel like anxiety was the main problem because I would constantly have anxiety attacks during times I shouldn't be anxious about anything. My heart pounding, not able to catch my breath. It was really difficult for me because I didn't understand my own feelings, and I had so much pent up anger towards myself and sadness towards myself. I guess you could say I hated myself. That's when I started to experiment with different kinds of self-harm. Just slapping myself with rubber bands, holding ice against my palm, hitting myself in the head, punching walls, hitting my head against walls. I actually started cutting probably freshman year. I did it once on my arms. Ever since that, it was almost like an addiction. It was almost like a release, kind of the hatred. But anytime I do it, it just made me hate myself even more. And around the same time is when I started smoking weed. Anything to distract myself from all this hatred I was feeling towards myself. If I wasn't smoking, I wasn't normal. One day, I guess I didn't have anything to smoke, and I just took a razor and slashed open my leg. Had instant regret. It was deeper than any cut I've had before. I ended up having to ask my dad take me to the emergency room. I ended up getting 20 stitches. Of course, they figured that it was self-inflicted. I got Baker acted for 3 days. I guess during that 3 days is when I realized that I really had a problem. I was still causing a lot of turmoil with my family and my best friend. I would look my best friend right in the eye and tell her I'm not high. And I feel like that was the lowest point in my life, when I could lie to the people that I cared about the most, straight to their face. I had a conversation with my dad. He basically asked me, am I saved? Am I truly saved? And he made me think about God like I never have before. I started asking God to help me when I felt the desire to cut or to smoke. I was begging him to release me from it. During all this, I was going to Zeal. After I got Baker acted, I basically told everyone why and what I was going through. Everyone was so accepting, and it just showed me that's what God is like. God accepts you for who you are. He loves you even though you're a screw up. But I'm learning more and more that God cares about how you feel and what you're going through. And that's what people at Zeal have sort of showed me. They showed me that they care about me, about how I feel. They cared about my well-being. Ever since I started getting involved at Zeal is when the desire to smoke and to cut started to become less appealing, because all this other stuff is temporary. The high from smoking is temporary. The high from cutting is temporary. Surrounding myself by godly people at Zeal is one of the major things, because I felt love from them. I started feeling love from God. I knew that I was loved by God. I feel like now the love is mutual because I love God so much. I know that he's real. There's no question in my mind now that he's legit and that he's there for me and that he cares about me.